What's up, guys? I just had a couple people text messaging talking about Ape Nation Will's video that the insider sold. I'm with Will. I mean, I can't stand it. I know he's super frustrated and mad, and he's talking about that they all sold off. I want you to look at this. I'm not an expert at reading these. Maybe we need to leave this up to Cowboy. I'm sure someone else will come up and start talking about it. But based on what I'm reading, you're going to see, I don't think that they sold. I don't believe that they all sold on Friday. They all were given stocks on Friday, and it looks like all their stocks were converted, and then it shows how their vesting schedule is broken down. And it does look like every one of their vesting stocks have been reversed the same 10-to-1. So from what I see, but you be a judge. Go to SEC website. You can look for it. Just Google it. I also attached it here and kind of explain what I see. You tell me, drop in your comments if I'm wrong. As much as I don't like Adam and the board, if you guys go into the SEC website, I know it's going around. Ape Nation Will had posted it that the insiders had sold. I believe differently, and the only reason I say is I'm no expert at reading these, but if you open these up and you really take a look at it with all the footnotes, and you're going to see the very first one you can look at is going to be Adam Aaron right there. So I'm going to click on that first one. It's going to pull up his ownership form. As you can see, Adam Aaron. And then I'll just kind of play around here and you'll see the different things. He actually was granted AMC shares, it appears, 195,000. Looks like those were vested to him potentially, and has 366,000 now. You can see the different terms. Now let's go down here, and you can see the AMC preferred equity units, and then the restricted stock units, and the rest of them say restricted stock units. And see how they have that footnote, M1, M4, M4. You'll see in a minute what those numbers represent when we scroll down to the bottom, but all these transaction dates. And you do see acquired and you do see disposed, right? So I get that part because usually D means he disposed of 1.957 million ape and acquired 31,646 of those. I'm assuming AMC because it says restricted stock units, so that should be the common stock. But if you look at this and you use these footnotes, I want you to keep paying attention with those footnotes. Now, obviously, we can see it kind of flips back and forth. And the restricted units, see how it goes back and forth? One acquired, one disposed of, acquired, disposed of, acquired. And then over on the right, you're going to see here, there's those numbers, 3, 5, 5, 6, 6. See all those numbers? That's the exercisable date and the expiration dates of exercising those grants. So right there, Class A common stock number of shares, 195,000. Class A common stock, 31,000. Then an AMC preferred equity, 316,458. You can see all that, right? There's no numerical value. See that? Price of, there was no money, no value for them. And then there's the beneficially owned. And you'll see that they only own every other one, which means those numbers, I bet if we play with those numbers, you would see basically you got a reduction in the ape shares. That's what went away. That's why they were disposed, because they were converted into the AMC shares. I do not, if you go and look at all of them, I only looked at 2 or 3 of them. They're all the same. They all kind of rotate. They all show those footnotes. Now, one thing that is nice about these footnotes is when you go down here and read them, see there's the explanation of the responses. Number 1, number 2, 3, 4, 5. As you can see, number 1 is fully automatically converted. That's the common stock. And the issuer of the 1-for-10 reverse split, it kind of explains it. Same thing down at the bottom. It's the exercisable based on their employment, right? Because these are the restricted stocks. So from what I can see, when you scroll down and you read the explanation of responses, it completely makes sense that these stocks are future grants. And this was showing that they disposed of the ape shares because the ape shares no longer exist. They were converted. I don't believe that they sold. As much as I'm against them, they weren't selling. This all has to do with their stocks converting, and they all were granted stocks. So if anything, I'd be pissed off the fact that they all received a bunch of stocks, potentially. But they do have to stay employed, and you can see all those stocks they're going to grant to themselves.